Megan Hicks of I Run Far, and I'm with Jonathan Albon. It's a couple days before the 2019 Transvulcania Ultramarathon. Good morning, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. You arrived to the island yesterday?
Yes, yesterday evening.
And it's your first time to La Palma?
Yes.
But not your first time to the Canary Islands?
No, I had a family holiday when I must have been like around 10 or something like that to Gran Canaria. So it's like a standard English thing.
I was going to say, like a good British family, you took your Canary holiday.
Yep. We went dolphin watching but didn't see any dolphins, so we did everything you meant to do, I think.
And visited some good buffets and hotels and
yeah, all the standard
beach.
stuff, and got a little bit of sunburn.
I was going to say, and brought home a standard British sunburn.
Yep.
And now you're back for round 2 in the Canary Islands, a little bit different style vacation.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit more exciting. I think it's going to be a pretty big day on Saturday. I'm really looking forward to it.
We were just talking off camera before the interview about how interesting the men's field is this year, like composed of lots of different types of guys.
Yeah, it seems like having a big bonus score for this race is really like a lot of like good sky runners are here, but then also Transvulcania is a massive race on its own, so you've got a load of races that have always been coming out to do this race, and then just other top athletes like skimo athletes, ultra runners, mountain runners, just like it's a massive eclectic mix, so it's going to be really fun to race against the people I know and I'm friends with, but then also some other people that I've never run against.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how you feel about that, because you are a pretty like devotee to the skyrunning circuit over the last couple of years, in terms of including those races in your race schedule. So you see kind of the same types of guys at those races, but this skyrunning race, like you said, you're going to be running with people who you don't normally see in skyrunning.
Yeah, I know, I love skyrunning, and it's always nice to go and see different mountains and race against different athletes. It's kind of fun to go and try my hand against other athletes, but also being down here, it's like not exactly the terrain I'm so used to as well, like dry, rocky trails.
Right.
So it's going to be pretty fun, but pretty challenging.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you're British, but you live in Norway, which is like lands of like wet moss, rock, swamps, and stuff like that. And here we are on like a dry island where there's dust that comes up off the trail and exposed like dry rocks, like totally different feel for you. Yeah,
I think it is different. I think I certainly see a big difference in my results when I go from one to the other. I think up on the sort of Scandinavian type terrain, I'm so at home running on a little bit of snow, wet trails, and I can run my heart out, cooler temperatures as well. Whereas down here it is totally different, so it's a lot more about making sure I try and drink enough, making sure my legs don't get too pounded by the harder ground, and it's a different ball game.
And keeping your sunscreen on your fair skin.
Yeah, not letting it sweat into my eyes.
I'm American, but all of my ancestry comes from the British Isles too. Yeah. So yeah, I know about the sunscreen thing.
Yeah, I might have to go and buy some actually.
So looking at your year last year, you did a bunch of the shorter distance sky running type stuff, things up to about 50K, but then you also raced the longer Trail World Championships. I presume you've got like kind of a similar focus going on this year, or what's your plan for this year? Yeah,
the main problem with last year was I got sick in Andorra, so I missed out Sky Race there, and that kind of ruined my entire chances at doing the series.
Okay.
So a sort of saving grace was the Sky Running World Champs was last year in Scotland, so I did the ultra course there and won. So that was nice, but it was a shortened course due to bad weather, so it wasn't exactly what I had hoped for. Whereas this year I planned in to do the series again. I've got a bare minimum races to do the series, but I think I'll add in another one if a race doesn't go to plan. So I've already done Japan, that was shortened, so that was 21 kilometres. Now we're here for 75 kilometres. Now I'll be at Buff Epic and then back at Tromsø.
Okay.
So sort of around this sort of like 40 to 70 kilometre mark is sort of like a nice distance. I think you can push hard in the race, and then also you feel pretty tired afterwards but not completely destroyed. So I like these sorts of races as well, because you can really get up into the mountains. It's not just sort of like short up and down, you really get up into the wilds.
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago you were in Japan racing the Mount Awa Sky Race, which ended up being 20-something Ks in the end? 21,
yeah, and the first 5 were flat and on road. So I don't know how we did 1,500 metres climb over something like 13K. It was a great experience, really nice trails, really fun. And a really, really tough race because it was just so short, we were pushing so hard. And I went so hard on the final descent, managed to catch the leader, but then my legs were just completely empty.
Okay.
I think that's probably a a result of skiing far too much in the winter and not running quite enough. So maybe one extra session of really pounding my legs and then doing a bit of a flat effort afterwards would have been nice. But live and learn, and here I am for 75k 3 weeks later.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just a couple weeks later, you're here in, like, I don't know, what was that race, like 2.5 hours, something like that? You're gonna take it up to 7 this weekend?
Yeah, exactly. So I think I'm slightly more used to 7 than 2, but it's the first one of the year, isn't it? So you never know how it's going to go. Just going to have to go with the flow, try and have fun, and see how I do.
This course is pretty unique in that it's got a lot of, like, there's a ton of vertical packed in, relatively speaking. I mean, not compared to some of the sky races you're used to doing, but yeah, for like a ultramarathon course, kind of a lot of vertical, but there's also a ton of runnable terrain. Have you done any, like, specific training for that, or are you just sort of trying to ramp up your training in miles?
I've never seen the course or been here, so it's hard to do.
You're gonna go see it in just a few minutes.
It's hard to do specific running training, but I did notice that after Mount Owl, my legs were destroyed on the downhill, and I know we've got a 2,000 metre downhill from the top down to the sea here. So I did go out and just try and run a bunch of really hard runnable downhill, and just try and pound my legs a bit.
How'd that feel?
They're still a little bit sore, to be honest, but I said I'd go and get a massage, and we'll see how it goes. But I don't know, I've been trying to ramp up my mileage slowly. I'm up to 100k a week now, and I'm almost going to run that in this race alone.
I was going to say, get your training weekend on Saturday.
No, since I started skiing during the winter, my training's changed completely, but that's also kind of fun. So it's kind of a learning experience every year when you take this sort of big off-season and ski a lot more. It's got its benefits and its drawbacks, but I'm learning, and hopefully it's going to pay off.
Well, yeah, there are tons of examples from guys and women in the sport right now where it totally works to get off your feet and ski all winter, keep your aerobic conditioning right there, and
I think
fresh legs in the spring.
Yeah, it's just feels a lot more healthy, just to give the body a rest from the impact of the running, because it takes its toll on you, and especially, maybe 1 year goes fine or 2 years goes fine, but if you want to be running until you're 60, you kind of want to keep your body in good shape, and I don't think running 12 months a year is really the best thing for it. So I'm glad I found skiing, which is a type of cross training which is really good for you, low impact, and it's just a lot of fun too.
So does that mean you still want to be running when you're 60?
I want to run till I die.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen this weekend.
No, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm actually really looking forward to the course. I looked on a map, and it's kind of, we go up from the sea, and we're pretty much on ridge the entire time up to the highest point in the mountain, where we do kind of skirt round the ridge on the rim of the volcano, and then all the way back down to the sea again. And then we've got 300 metres of climb right at the end.
Just a mean little hill, isn't it?
And that'll be in the heat of the day as well. So I'm not looking forward to that last half an hour. But I'm sure I'll get through it, and I'm sure I'll learn a bit.
Grin and bear it and pull a banana from one of the trees as you pass by. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, best of luck to you in making your way across the island this weekend, and we'll see you out there.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.